Game 1 of the Fall Classic goes tonight, and if you had Texas and Arizona as the matchup when the season began, well, you're not even watching this game because you're on a beach somewhere far away buying drinks for everyone in the cash that you are now swimming in. Texas dethroning Houston in the ALCS while the Snakes took down the Phillies in the NLCS. That means this is the third World Series matchup between two wildcard teams, giving further credence to the notion all you gotta do is get in. Anything is possible after that, and get this, both of these teams are just 2 seasons removed from losing over 100 games. In terms of the pitching matchup for the opener in Arlington, it'll be Nathan Eovaldi and Zach Gallen. Eovaldi a perfect 4-0 in the postseason, a 2.42 ERA. Gallen 2-2 with his average sitting at 5.24. All right, for more on the opener and this series overall, let's welcome in the sniper, Matt Snyder. And Matt, I know at least a few guys in a band called Creed are enjoying this moment because we get to keep hearing their music. I'm not saying whether that's good or bad, but because we like to have some fun, as a spin-off to Creed's song titles, that's what we're going to do here. Let's dive into this World Series preview. And just ahead of time, I appreciate your indulgence here. For each team, who is ready for what's to come? Who is ready for the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think they both are, really. Look, we've seen both of these teams go through some hardships during the season, whether it was injury or underperformance with the bullpens or, you know, a really cold streak that followed a hot streak. We've seen both teams continue to step up when they needed to. Look at the Astros, looked like one of the best teams in baseball through the middle of August, and then they completely fell apart. I don't know if I've ever talked about a World Series team that lost 16 of 20 late in the season and still made the World Series. Meanwhile, the Arizona Diamondbacks were in first place at the start of July in the NL West, and they completely fell apart for the next 6 weeks. They actually had the worst record in baseball for that 6-week stretch, and then they bounced back. So I think that both teams have shown the ability that they can get kind of down in a rut, and then they can bounce back from that. So I would say that both teams are ready for the moment for sure.
All right, and with arms wide open.
Oh, I was not ready for that, Jeremy.
I wasn't ready for it either. Both teams have weathered some ups and downs, as you said, but over the years, they've also weathered ups and downs. I mean, we mentioned the 100-loss seasons 2 years ago. Rangers make their third World Series appearance since 2010. Can they break through to win their first World Championship?
Yes, they do. They can. I have the Rangers in this one. They're the better team. They won 6 more games during the regular season. They've got a much deeper offense there. The second half of the Diamondbacks lineup, with the exception of a few Alec Thomas home runs that seemed like they came from out of nowhere, is not near as strong as the Rangers. The Rangers have some power down in the lineup between names like Jonah Heim, Josh Young. We've seen a lot of runs from the bottom part of that Rangers lineup. So I definitely think this is the better team here. And one thing that I find, since I saw those Rangers on the screen from years past, it took me back, is this is the first matchup ever from these two teams in the World Series. The Diamondbacks have only been one time before, that was 2001. The Rangers have only been twice, it was 2010 and 2011. Remember, in 2011, they were 1 strike away from beating the Cardinals in Game 6. And then they completely fell apart in that, and the Cardinals beat them in 7. This is the first time the Rangers have been back. So I assume the fans in both ballparks are going to be really jacked for this one. I'm excited too. I know that there's a lot of people who don't think that this is that compelling of a matchup or whatever. I actually think it's really exciting. And look, I know that they weren't the 2 best teams in the regular season, but the more playoff teams you let in, the more the recipe is for there to be some funkiness and for teams to get hot at the right time. And when you have small sample series, weird stuff's going to happen. If we're going to have a playoffs like that, we need to just embrace it and realize when teams like specifically the Diamondbacks with only 84 wins get in, that's just part of the process in the playoffs sometimes.
Well, and the Diamondbacks, I mean, you mentioned the Rangers, but the Diamondbacks also coming in with a lot of confidence. So really kind of an unknown, I don't want to say unknown quantity, but the fact that they're bursting with confidence right now obviously plays well for them. So when it's all said and done for you, which team goes higher, has their full circle moment, and wins this year's World Series?
Yeah, I have the Rangers in 7. As I said, I think they're better. But I'm not discounting the Diamondbacks at all. Look, I know that they're going to use it. It's, you know, for whatever reason, pro sports teams, they're adults to me, and it should be like you're playing the championship. You shouldn't need any extra motivation. But for whatever reason, it really seems to feed teams to be able to say, hey, nobody believed in us. Nobody thought we'd be here. Nobody thought we could win. So, all right, Diamondbacks, I've got the Rangers in 7. you can go nuts with that and use that and say nobody believes in you and nobody believed in you last round and nobody believed in you in the round before. Those two things were true, actually. By now, I would not be surprised if the Diamondbacks won it. As I said, both teams have fluctuated so much. I could see something really weird happening. Remember, we saw the Rangers go up 2-0, then lose 3 straight games at home, and then go into Houston and win 2. We saw the Diamondbacks go down 2-0, then win 2 and come from behind fashion, then get their teeth kicked in Game 5 at home. And everybody thought the Phillies were going to beat them in Game 6. They went into Philadelphia and completely dominated the Phillies in Games 6 and 7. So I could see something where we see like one team go up 3-0 and then the other team win the next 3 to force a Game 7. Anything's on the table for me in this one.
Arizona lost the first game against Texas this season, then won the next 3, so that's interesting to know. Matt Snyder firing bullets, could be a bit weathered with his Texas pick if Arizona comes through. Baseball writer joining us here, giving us a World Series preview. Great stuff as always, Matt. Good to see you. Thanks for having some fun with us. Game 1 of the Fall Classic tonight in Arlington. 8:03 p.m. Eastern Time is first pitch. 2-3-2, 2 in Arlington, 3 in Arizona, then back to Texas if needed.